Clairaudience, the mysterious ability to hear what others can't, messages from the other side, spirit guides, the universe, or maybe just your neighbor's questionable taste in late-night TV. If you've ever wondered whether those random words popping into your head are psychic messages, or just the result of too much caffeine and not enough sleep, you might want to stick around. Today, we're diving deep, earplugs not required, into the world of clairaudience. Let's start with the basics. Clairaudience, literally meaning clear hearing, is one of the so-called clairs. That fancy family of psychic abilities. But don't get all excited and start expecting a surround sound experience of angelic choirs or spectral TED Talks. Most clairaudience don't go around with spirits whispering sweet nothings in their ears 24/7. More often than not, it's subtle, like that nagging inner voice that tells you not to buy those shoes, or the random song lyric that pops into your mind just as you make a big decision. Coincidence? Maybe. Psychic? Possibly. The universe's way of trolling you? Absolutely. So, how do you know if you're clairaudient? Do you need to have a dramatic encounter with a Victorian ghost in your attic? Not exactly. If you find yourself hearing messages, words, phrases, or even music that seems to come out of nowhere, especially when you're alone and your Spotify playlist isn't on shuffle, you might just have a touch of clairaudience. And no, you can't blame it on that high-pitched ringing after a concert. We're talking about information that feels meaningful, helpful, or just plain uncanny. Let's talk about the mechanics. Clairaudience doesn't always mean you're hearing a literal voice in your ear, as fun or frightening as that sounds. It's more like an internal voice. Think of it as the universe's version of a voice memo delivered straight to your brain. Sometimes it's your own voice, sometimes it's someone else's. Occasionally, if you're lucky, or unlucky depending on your tolerance for surprises, you might hear a voice externally, as if someone's standing right next to you. Before you panic and start searching for hidden cameras, take a breath. Chances are, it's not a prank. It might just be your psychic senses tuning in. Now, some people might roll their eyes and say, "Isn't that just my imagination?" To which clairaudience everywhere would reply, "Sure, Jan." The line between imagination and intuition can be as thin as your patience during a Zoom call that should have been an email. But here's the thing. Clairaudient messages often come through with a clarity, urgency, or repetition that sets them apart from your usual mind chatter. It's like your inner monologue suddenly decided to hire Morgan Freeman as a guest narrator. So, what do these messages sound like? Well, spirits apparently aren't big on small talk. You're not likely to get detailed weather forecasts or next week's lottery numbers. Trust me, I asked. The information is usually concise. Names, warnings, advice, encouragement, or even just a single word. And if you're hoping for a booming cinematic voice from the heavens, prepare to be disappointed. The universe is subtle, sometimes maddeningly so. If you're thinking, well, I talk to myself all the time, does that make me psychic? Not necessarily, but pay attention to the tone and timing. Clairaudient messages often come out of nowhere, uninvited and unprompted, and they tend to have a certain weight or resonance. You might hear your name called when no one's around, or get a random piece of advice at exactly the right moment. If you're getting a full-blown lecture from invisible entities about your life choices, either you're the next great psychic, or you need to cut back on the energy drinks. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: skepticism. Yes, some people think clairaudience is just wishful thinking, boredom, or the result of watching too many ghost hunting shows. And to be fair, sometimes a voice in your head is just a voice in your head. But just because your psychic hotline is a bit staticky doesn't mean there isn't something to it. The truth is, most of us have experienced moments of uncanny knowing or hearing something that didn't seem to come from us. Whether you blame it on the cosmos or your subconscious, it's still pretty cool. For those curious about developing their clairaudient abilities, here's some unsolicited advice, because frankly, that's what you're here for. First, listen. I mean, really listen. Not just to what people say, but to the sounds around you, the silence between words, and yes, to your own thoughts. Meditation helps, but so does a good pair of noise-canceling headphones. Quiet the external noise, and you might be surprised what you hear inside. Keep a journal of any odd messages, words, or phrases that pop into your mind. No, you don't have to invest in a quill and parchment. Your phone's Notes app will do. Look for patterns. Sometimes the universe is subtle, but it's also persistent. If you keep hearing the same advice over and over, maybe, just maybe, you should listen. And remember, clairaudience isn't about being haunted by a parade of chatty ghosts. It's about tuning into a frequency most people ignore. Sometimes it's comforting, sometimes it's weird, and sometimes it's just your brain telling you to buy more snacks. But hey, who are we to argue with the universe's snack recommendations? In conclusion, clairaudience is both an art and a science, a blend of intuition, open-mindedness, and, let's face it, a willingness to embrace the weird. So the next time you hear a voice in your head, ask yourself, is it fear? Imagination? Or is it a message from the cosmos delivered just for you? The only way to know is to listen, really listen. And maybe, just maybe, you'll discover you've been clairaudient all along. Or maybe you just need a nap. Either way, keep those ears open. The universe has a lot to say, and it's not always subtle about it. Thank you for joining us today, and for exploring the fascinating world of clairaudience with us. We send you love, light, and a sprinkle of cupcakes for your journey ahead. Your curiosity and open mind are what make these moments truly special. Stay tuned and keep your hearts open, because in our next chapter, we'll dive into clairsentience, another remarkable psychic sense. Until then, keep listening to the whispers within and around you.